So what's up you guys, I'm out here again working on the 240, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to externally relay or hardwire your fuel pump.
Alright guys, so basically to begin this, what you're going to want to have already set is your relay, which this is like a 5-prong relay, and it has like these little numbers on it just so I could like specify which type of relay it is. But I have a diagram that will tell you like what relay you need to get, that you guys can see like the numbers and everything. And over here I have some shrink wrap, I have some snippers, clip wires, I have a 10mm just in case I have to take this cap off where the fuel pump is. I have some wire strippers right here, and you might want to have some wires laying around, and then you might want to have like a fuse that you can link up into the wires, because you're supposed to have a fuse from the power wire to the battery and stuff right over here. So that's basically all the things that I've came to do, like to have set for this project. So I guess I'm just going to jump right into it. Alright you guys, so basically we got the relay, and then we got my wires, and I've already cut into the harness, I guess, or the wiring that comes stock with like the S13. The S13s and the S14s have a different power wire, and for the S13, which I'm doing, is the power wire that goes to the fuel pump that went to the ECU. That is the white and purple wire, and you're going to want to cut that one, and then you're going to want to cut this blue and red wire, which I read up on that is supposed to be the ground for the fuel pump, and those are the stock wires. So cut those are the only ones you need to cut. The rest of them I believe are like, they go to the that reads how much fuel you have in your tank and everything like that, like the floater and everything like that. So you don't need to mess with those, you just gotta cut these two wires. And then the only wire out of these two that you cut that's going to connect to the relay is going to be the power one. This one you can put like a little end piece on here like I have, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt this down to like one of these bolts so that it gets a good ground basically. And then this one, basically both ends of these from the ECU and then to the fuel pump, those will get connected to the relay itself right here. So, and from looking at the diagram, you're going to know that one of these wires from the relay goes to chassis ground too. So you're going to want to put one of these connectors onto the one of the wires that go to the ground, looking at the diagram. And yeah, because it's going to get bolted to the chassis too. So I already have one, it's in my pocket I believe, if I can find it. It's right here. So yeah, I'm going to connect that to the wire that goes to the ground from the diagram. And before I do that, you do not need the center wire right here on the relay, so I just cut that off anyway. So before you start, like, I'm going to twist tie these wires together so that I can solder them basically. So before you twist tie the wires together, you're going to want to make sure that you put your shrink wrap on top of the wires first and beforehand. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll twist tie the wires that need to go to their specific location referring to the diagram. I used to say I was sincere. 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 I used to say I was. Alright, so I got both of my, basically the power wire, the stock power wire that I split in half from the fuel pump. I have that set to the relay, and then basically I got my ground from the relay, and then I have the power wire, which is this red one. The red one I'm actually going to run like a toggle switch type thing to the front of the car. So it's basically going to go from this red wire to the toggle switch, back to the fuse, from the fuse to the battery itself, and that's how I'll get its power. So if you guys see some craziness going from like the red wire and everything, just know it's like why it's so long. It's because I have a toggle switch run up to the front somewhere. So yeah, but basically what you do now is you take your connections that you have down here and you just solder them. So then you want to Then you want to get your heat shrink and you want to put that over your where you soldered at and everything like that. And you want to heat shrink it so that it's fully covered and it's not exposed to anything, any type of metal or nothing like that. Then what you need to do is you need to just bolt down your grounds and connect it to the battery. Connect this red wire from my relay to the battery, and you should be squared away, and then you should be externally relayed your fuel pump. Alright, so now that I got these nice and soldered, they're still pretty hot. You can take this shrink wrap that's right here, this blue stuff. Like I'm going to straighten this out and then bend it over basically towards the smaller wire and then slide the shrink wrap over it. And I got like a lighter. You can use a lighter, you can use a heat gun, you can use whatever generates heat and basically shrink the shrink heat or the heat shrink. I keep saying heat shrink wrap, but you can heat up the heat shrink and then it will fit nicely over your solder, and it will be protected from like all the elements and metal and everything like that. And then all that's left to do is just bolt down my grounds and then connect the toggle switch, the fuse, and then to the power wire, and then it's ready. Alright you guys, so now that you see, I have both my fuel pump ground and my relay ground bolted down and grounded, and I have both my power wires that went from the fuel pump and then the ECU wire that's connected to the relay, and it's all soldered and heat shrinked and everything. So now I just got to connect the toggle switch and the fuse and then connect this to the battery, the power for the battery terminal and everything, and then it's going to be finished. Alright, so now that I got all this and I just have this left for the power wire, I just ran up to O'Reilly's with Chris and all of them, and I just got some wire right here, as you see, and then I got a fuse that you like link into the lines basically, and I'm basically going to run this fuse between the power wire and this wire right here, so it'll go from like this basically, and then from this end it'll go to the battery. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm going to be linking my toggle switch into that too. So here we go. Alright you guys, so I have everything hooked up on the fuel pump, and basically if you just follow the diagram and you cut the right wires and mount it up and everything, it should be able to work. So the only problem is right here is I've tested that this is the power wire and it's getting power. When I'm just hoping that this is the ground wire, because on the form that I checked it said this was the ground wire. I flipped my toggle switch with the power on and everything, and I don't seem to hear my fuel pump. So I'm going to be checking in with like some other forums and everything to make sure I have it hooked up right. If you're able to hear the fuel pump when you have the ignition key turned on and everything like that. But I seem to be running into that problem. I have everything literally wired up the way it's supposed to be wired up. So alright you guys, so I've been messing around out here with some of this wiring and everything. Didn't really change up that much. I just unplugged my relay and I ran a jumper from the power to the fuel pump to the power to the battery basically, and it wants to run. So like I hear the fuel pump running whenever I plug in these little jumpers right here, right over here. So, and I hear the fuel pump turn on. So I sort of want to believe that this is a bad relay. That I don't know. I guess it's just a manufacturer like defect or something. But I'm still unsure if like after you hardwire it, if you're supposed to be able to hear your fuel pump. I would want to believe so, because I mean like you turn the fuel pump on and it primes the system before you even turn the car on. So I want to believe that's a bad fuel pump. Because I mean the other thing to this is just the whatchamacallit. It goes to the ECU and it goes to the ground. So I mean I wonder if they're inside this relay if there's a bad connection between the power wires or something like that. So like, I guess I'll show you guys. Well, I don't know if you'll hear it, but I guess I can just like try and plug it up for you guys and let you guys hear it. So alright you guys, so I seemed to figure it out. I did have it wired right. It was just a grounding issue, not this ground right here, but let's come to the front of the car. Come up here. Like I said in my last video about the update, how we have to hook up the whole harness and everything. Well, the engine harness isn't grounded, so it wasn't getting power to the ECU. So yeah, so the signal wire for the relay wasn't getting activated to actually power the fuel pump and everything. So right here is my fuel pressure regulator, which will tell me if I'm getting pressure if the fuel pump's running. So basically I played around with this little ground that I found, and I grounded it right here on this, and then just watch this gauge as I ground it right fast. So boom. So that gauge went up. I'll give you guys like a better look at it right fast. So there you go. So we got the gauge right there, and I'm about to ground this right here on this metal piece. So boom. So my fuel pump does work. It is wired up right, and that is all that matters. So that's pretty awesome.
Sorry guys, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys learned something, which I hope you guys did. I might not be the best explainer or whatnot, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's how you basically hardwire or externally relay your fuel pump, and I hope that helps you guys with anything. Like if you're going like a big boost setup or anything like that, you're going to need to do this, so that your fuel pump gets the full 12 volts instead of like a 9 volt or anything like that. So, and also this is for the S13. For the S14, it's different colored wires for the fuel pump, so the white and purple wire will be different. So don't go off with your S14 and try and relay it to this video basically. So I also found the forum that helped me the most is on Nico. I think it's like the Nico forum or something like that. Just type in S13 hardwire, S13 hardwire fuel pump, and I guarantee it'll be like the first thing to pop up on Google. So if this video doesn't help, go to that. And he did his in the S13 too, but I believe he also stated what the color was for the S14s too. So I hope this video helped you guys, so please do like and subscribe like I keep saying, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.